Hello and welcome to Behind the Music Transfigured Nights series where we get to talk with our artists performing this season, our 21st season. The next event for us is on Sunday, October 12th at 7 p.m., where we have the illustrious, the magnificent, the wonderful Katelyn Emerson coming to give a concert. And joining us today, welcome Katelyn from Cambridge.
Thank you so much for having me, Jonathan.
She just like brought my energy back down. I'm very excited to talk with Katelyn. So as we will eventually get into, Katelyn is a very dear friend of mine that I've known for many, many years. And while I always enjoy these conversations with our guests, I am trying to put on my this is our professionals talking as opposed to that I get to talk with my good friend. So Katelyn, maybe just tell us a little bit about the concert coming up, what you're playing, what we get to look forward to.
I absolutely can't wait for this concert, which is in just about 2 weeks from this evening. I'm playing music that is metropolitan, music that is cosmopolitan, music from several different countries, and we'll kind of do a little tour of the world through the gorgeous organ at Transfiguration. So we'll start with a piece by Georg Muffat, who despite his name sounding rather German, may have come from Scottish heritage, so you might think of George Muffet when you see his name. This is a piece that gives a nod to the fact that he was able to study in Italy, Germany, and in France during his quite cosmopolitan career. This Toccata Septima begins with a kind of French overture style and then goes through different kinds of Italian and then German influences throughout the colors of the instrument, as well as the compositional styles. We then go to Germany, or stay in Germany, with the beautiful chorale Fantasia by Lübeck. It's on the chorale Ich ruf zu dir, Herr Jesu Christ, which is I cry to you, Lord Jesus Christ. This beautiful chorale prelude is quite extensive and takes each line of the beautiful chorale in different style in pondering the theological and emotional meaning of the text. And we'll be sure that you have the text available. We stay with the idea of text by moving to Charles Tournemir's beautiful fantasy improvisation on the Ave Maris Stella, a Marian hymn. They convinced Charles Tournemire to actually make recordings of his improvisations because he was just about the most famous improviser in Paris during the 20th century. There are 5 of these recordings, 5 of these pieces were recorded, and they were transcribed by a student and colleague of Tournemire, Maurice Durflay. We have here Durflay's reconstruction of the beautiful Ave Maris Stella, which features the scintillating colors of the Transfiguration organ in a bit of mid-century French style. We then move to Canada, French-speaking Canada, with a glorious pair of short pieces by Rachel Laurent, an intermezzo and a scherzo, to show both the wistful charm and also the more rambunctious charm of the instrument. And then finally we have an opera in miniature with Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart's Fantasia in F minor, case 608, which features quartet, orchestra, drama, and everything in between, in just about 12 to 14 minutes, depending on the energy level.
That's awesome. I also very much appreciate all of your adjectives and feel like you would give Michael Barone an official run for his money of use of adjectives in program descriptions. We love you, Michael.
No,
Hi, if somehow you're
nobody
watching
can
this.
do that.
Now, let's see. So you have played the Transfiguration before. Do you want to tell us about that?
Yeah, I first met the organ at the Transfiguration in 2016 when I competed in the American Guild of Organists National Competition for Young Artists. Gorgeous instrument. I had such a blast in that round. I would have been very happy to play any concert, any performance, any competition on that organ, which is not something I would say about most instruments because competitions are very intense and very heightened affairs. So I had such a pleasure. I remember I played Bruns, I played this exact Tournemire, and then I played Mendelssohn on that gorgeous instrument. And I found that the Tournemire just worked so brilliantly that I just wanted to come back and make it the centerpiece of this program.
Oh, that's really awesome. Yeah, Joel loves to be able to say how it's a chameleon. Well, actually, I think Jim David Christie played the dedication event and was running around in advance of the program talking about how it's a chameleon. And so it really does play everything. And I love all the music you have planned to take us on a tour of the world to get to see it. Now, you and I know each other from a competition. Do you remember how we met?
I do. I remember we were both in the first round in Kansas, and the minute that I finished playing Bless You, you went straight up to me and said, "We're going to be friends because you are just that wonderful of a person." And we have been friends ever since, which is now 12 years ago.
Oh my gosh, it's been 12 years.
It's been 12 years. We were baby organists.
Wow. Yeah,
Still
we
are.
really were. Oh my gosh. I was so captivated with your playing. I remember sitting there and I was like, who is this? And in full honesty, and I don't know if I ever told you this, I sat and I was like, I have two options right now because you were like that good. I was like, I have two options. I can either be mad at her and just walk away and keep my head turned up because she's too good, or I can immediately make her my friend. And I am so happy that I chose the latter.
Well, and I have to say that when I heard you play later in the competition, I had precisely the same choice, but we were already fast friends, so there was no other option. I just hadn't heard you because you'd gone before me in that first
Oh my
round.
gosh. That's so sweet. That's so sweet. Now, so where are we finding you now? I guess I already alluded that you're in Cambridge. Tell us what you're doing in Cambridge.
So I am entering my third year of a PhD program at the University of Cambridge over in England. So I am working on the intersections between musicians' backgrounds and the ways that we interpret music. So I'm just finishing up data collection, entering analysis and data cleaning and all that fun stuff, and writing up. So
And you said something like 12 hours of data collection tomorrow. I don't even know what that means.
So what I've been doing is actually since last November, I have been hosting 30 different concert organists from around the world. We've got organists from Germany, from Sweden, from England, from the US, from Canada, from France, and also from South Korea and from Japan as well. So we've been able to host fabulous players. I'm having them when they can come. I'm very happy to host them for teaching because I run the educational initiatives for the organ scholars here at the university, to have them do master classes, lectures, and some concerts. But the main reason why I'm inviting them is so that they can perform for a recorder on two organs in Cambridge and also partake in about a 2 hour interview with me about their interpretations, and how they formulate them and what they intend to do when they shape the musical line, specifically looking at how, for example, pedagogical background or cultural background might influence the timing and articulation that we use in performances.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And not only are you just such a gifted performer, but your mind never ceases to amaze and astound me. And I just love that you're doing that work and I can't wait to read it or however it gets presented that we get to learn from it. That's so great. Now it sounds like you also have I mean, you're still keeping a very active concert schedule these days. What else is on the docket for you this fall?
Sure. So, while I'm in a full-time academic degree that actually officially has nothing to do with my performing, I'm making sure that the playing still is part of my research and part of, my identity. It is very much who I am. So, I'm very happy to still be playing, and still honored to receive invitations like the one that came from Joel and from Transfiguration. So, between now and playing in Dallas, I'm headed to Madrid to play this Saturday, and then we'll fly off to Texas. The next day after playing in Texas, I will be helping out with the memorial concert in honor of Barbara Owen, who wrote so many seminal books for organists, for organ pedagogy, for organ history in the US. It'll be wonderful to do that alongside the amazing Mark Dwyer and David Van Buren, both of whom are old friends of mine from the Boston area, and I can't wait to catch up with everybody. And since my parents live very close to there, I'll be able to see family, which is always such a pleasure. And then in the rest of the autumn, I have a couple of performances in England and also a few more in Germany before the end of the year. And my husband and I are going to spend Christmas in England this year, and we'll be able to go to King's for lessons and carols. So we're really looking forward to that.
Oh my gosh, exquisite. That sounds so marvelous. Okay, but then I have to ask, like, do you ever sleep? Like, is sleep something that, like, I'm trying to like map out your fall, and I mean, even when you go and do all of these recitals, you're playing like completely different programs. So I feel like you have 7 hours of repertoire, like at the ready at any given moment, and completing this PhD and traveling across the like, so like I feel like maybe it would be doable if I just didn't sleep. So I'm wondering like I'm wondering if you sleep and if in fact you do sleep, exactly how you manage to do it all.
Well, I'll be sure to give you your tip for flattery later. Send it in the mail. No, very much do sleep. I like my 7 hours. Yeah, I don't know. This is kind of just how I've always functioned. You've known me since quite early on in my undergraduate studies, and I think I've always. I mean, COVID was particularly difficult because everything stopped, and I've always kind of, like you, done the best when I'm running on several cylinders at once, and when you're tired enough to go to sleep at the end of the day really helps. I have occasionally discovered that I can function on 4 hours of sleep, but I definitely am a much happier person and much nicer to be around when I've gotten a little rest.
I suspect you're always very pleasant to be around, and your music and who you are as a person is just so marvelous. We are so looking forward to having you in Dallas, getting to hear you. And of course, I'm very selfishly looking forward to spending some time with you. Thank you so much, Katelyn, for your time today.
Thank you.
And we'll see you all on Sunday, October 12th at 7 p.m. in the sanctuary at the Church of the Transfiguration. You won't want to miss this concert.